Night fell slowly over Constantinople, not like other nights, but heavy, suffocating, as if the sky itself knew what was coming. Fires burned along the horizon, their glow reflecting off the ancient walls that had stood for over 1,000 years. Walls that had defied kings, crusaders, and countless armies. Tonight they would fail. Inside the city, bells rang not in celebration, but in warning. Their echoes drifted through narrow streets, across shattered homes, and into the great cathedral of Hagia Sophia, where thousands had gathered in silence. Nobles stood beside beggars, soldiers beside monks, all equal now, all waiting. The Byzantine Empire was dying. Emperor Constantine XI knew it. He walked the walls one last time, torchlight flickering against battered stone. The cannons had not stopped for weeks. Each thunderous blast had torn another piece from the city's defenses and from its soul. The empire had once ruled from Italy to the Middle East, from the Danube to North Africa. Now it was reduced to this city, one night. Outside the walls stood Sultan Mehmed II. He was only 21 years old, and already history trembled before him. His camp stretched as far as the eye could see. Tens of thousands of soldiers waited in silence, their armor glinting in firelight. Massive cannons, forged for this single purpose, pointed toward Constantinople like the fingers of fate. Mehmed had dreamed of this moment since childhood. To him, Constantinople was not just a city, it was destiny. As midnight approached, he ordered the final preparations. Drums were positioned. Horns were readied. The soldiers were told the truth. By sunrise, the city would be theirs, or history would remember them as failures. There would be no retreat. Inside Constantinople, the emperor removed his royal insignia. No crown, no purple robes, only armor. He addressed his remaining soldiers, Romans in name only now, Greeks by blood, Christians by faith. He did not promise victory, he promised honor. He reminded them that they stood on ground soaked in the blood of ancestors who had built an empire from nothing. He told them, "Tonight we die or we live forever in memory." Before dawn, the sky erupted. Ottoman cannons roared, shaking the earth itself. Stones the size of houses smashed into the walls, opening wounds that defenders desperately tried to fill with rubble and bodies. Smoke choked the air. The screams of the wounded blended with the thunder of war. Then came the drums, a deep, relentless rhythm like a heartbeat. The first wave attacked. Light infantry surged forward, climbing ladders, rushing breaches, dying in droves. Arrows and fire poured down upon them. They fell by the hundreds. Then the next wave came, and the next. Mehmed watched patiently. This was not chaos, it was design. Hour after hour, the defenders fought without rest. Hands bled, armor cracked. Men collapsed where they stood. Still, the walls held barely. Then, just before sunrise, everything broke. A small gate forgotten in the smoke and confusion stood open. Kirka Porta. Through it poured Ottoman soldiers. By the time the defenders realized what had happened, it was too late. The enemy was inside the city. Panic spread faster than fire. Cries of, "The Turks are within the walls," echoed through the streets. The defense collapsed. Emperor Constantine XI charged into the chaos. No guards, no banner, no escape. Some say he tore the imperial symbols from his armor so no one would recognize him. Others say he shouted his name and rank, daring death to take him. No one knows for certain, only that his body was never found. As the sun rose, Constantinople fell. Ottoman banners climbed the towers. The great walls, once thought unbreakable, were silent. The city that had outlived empires was conquered in a single morning. By midday, Sultan Mehmed entered through the gate of St. Romanus. He did not celebrate. He rode slowly through streets littered with the remnants of a civilization, shattered icons, broken weapons, abandoned crowns. He dismounted before Hagia Sophia, the heart of Byzantine faith. Inside, terrified citizens waited for slaughter. Instead, Mehmed ordered silence. He looked up at the vast dome, a marvel of human ambition, and declared it his. With that single act, the greatest church in Christendom became a mosque. The city was renamed Constantinople was no more. The Byzantine Empire, last heir of Rome, had died in the night. But the world did not end. It changed. Scholars fled west, carrying ancient texts that would ignite the Renaissance. Trade routes collapsed, forcing Europe to seek new paths across unknown oceans. Within decades, ships would cross the Atlantic. New continents would be claimed. New empires would rise. All because one city fell. Empires believe they are eternal. They build monuments. They carve laws into stone. They convince themselves that history ends with them, but history is patient. It waits for a night like this, a night of fire and steel, a night of silence after screams, a night when the old world dies, and something new takes its place. This was the night an empire died. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into the past compelling, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories from history. We'll see you in the next one.